Welcome. Today, we are going to unpack one of the most transformative technologies out there, generative AI. And we're not just going to look at it as some complex piece of tech. No, we're going to see it for what it really is, a complete toolkit for solving actual real-world business problems. So, let's just start with this big question. I mean, think about it. How can just one technology be your company's brand new artist, writer, and engineer, all at the same time? It sounds kind of wild, right? Well, that's the incredible power we're going to explore together. Okay, so what is this stuff really? Well, at its very core, generative AI is all about one thing: creation. These are incredibly sophisticated models that have been trained on just massive amounts of data, and their whole job? It's to generate entirely new, original content that has never existed before. We're talking images, paragraphs of text, or even lines of software code. All right, first up in our toolkit are the creative tools. This is where generative AI really puts on its artist and designer hat, you know? It's here to tackle that constant nagging demand for new content and media. Pretty much every business today faces this exact challenge. Marketing teams, social media managers, product designers, they all need this constant stream of fresh, high-quality visuals. But trying to produce all that content quickly and on a budget, that is a major, major hurdle. And here's where AI just completely changes the game. You can give it a simple text description, what we call a prompt, and boom, it generates a completely new image out of thin air. Just think about what that means. You can create realistic product shots without ever doing a photo shoot. You can generate mind-blowing special effects for a movie. Or you could even produce synthetic medical images to help train doctors. It is an absolute game changer. Okay, building right on that, let's grab the next set of tools from our kit. This time, it's all about communication. We're talking about making business interactions way smoother, faster, and just more efficient, both inside the company and out with your customers. So here we've got two huge communication challenges. On one hand, your customers expect answers right now, any time of day. And on the other, if you're a global company, language itself can be a massive barrier to getting business done. And this is where AI comes in with a brilliant three-part solution. First, you've got AI-powered chatbots that can handle customer questions 24/7 using natural conversational language. Then you have translation models that can just instantly tear down those language barriers. And finally, for making things run smoother internally, AI can even summarize long reports or articles, saving everybody a ton of precious time. It's actually really useful to see the difference between these two. They're both powerful communication tools, but they do different things. Translation, that's all about bridging the gap between people. It connects different languages across the world. Summarization, on the other hand, it tackles the problem of information overload. It takes a huge mountain of text and just gives you the key points. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is about connecting these ideas to real services that businesses are using right now. So for example, if your problem is building a chatbot, a company might turn to a service like Amazon Lex. If it's website translation, they'd probably use Amazon Translate. The whole key is knowing which tool in the toolkit to grab for which specific job. All right, let's grab the next tool from the kit. This one is for all the engineers and developers out there. It's designed to tackle one of the biggest bottlenecks in the entire tech world, the act of writing code. Anybody who's ever worked in tech knows this pain point. Development can be so slow, and a huge chunk of a developer's time gets eaten up by routine, repetitive coding tasks. This doesn't just slow down innovation, it really frustrates your talented engineers. So this is where AI steps in and acts like a co-pilot. A developer can give it a high-level instruction, something like, create a function that does this specific thing, and the AI just generates the code snippet for them. Now, this doesn't replace the developer, not at all. It assists them, handling all that routine stuff and dramatically speeding up the entire development process. Now for the next tool in our kit, and honestly, this is a big one. This is all about getting away from that old one-size-fits-all approach and creating experiences that feel totally unique to every single user. This is really the holy grail of modern business, isn't it? We don't just want to sell a product anymore. We want to build a relationship. And that relationship starts by making each and every customer feel like you truly get them and their specific needs. Generative AI is the engine that makes all this personalization possible. It's what powers those recommendation systems on e-commerce sites that seem to know exactly what you want to buy next. It's also used to make search engine results way more relevant to what you're actually looking for. creating a user journey that feels much more tailored and engaging. So we've looked at all these individual tools, the creative tools, the communication tools, efficiency, personalization. Now let's put it all together. Let's build a simple playbook for how you can actually apply this amazing technology. So how do you actually use this toolkit? Well, it really comes down to a simple four-step process. And you know what the most important part is? It always starts with a business problem, not the technology. Are you trying to create content faster, improve customer service, speed up development? Once you know the problem, then you select the right tool from the AI toolkit, generate a solution, and then you deploy it and refine it. It's a really powerful cycle. And that pretty much brings us to the end. We've seen the artist, the writer, and the engineer, all powered by generative AI, all sitting there in this one ultimate toolkit. So the only question left to ask is, now that you've seen what the tools can do, what problem are you going to solve first?